has gone away. Fingers cold and numb. Eyes fade into white. Darkness overcomes. Bleeding from this pen. My soul.
All right, dude. Yeah, let's get out of here. We tried, bro. I'm sorry. We tried our best. Yeah, and when this tree falls, it's over. I'm sorry, bro. Gotta get out of here. Oh, shit. Holy shit.
So we already done the first takeout.
Hey, California, don't you get upset. There's some neighborhoods burning, but it's not yours yet. Oh, no.
As the flames reach higher.
Want you to be back in your homes immediately.
But the people are willing to clean out their own debris. It doesn't cost a lot.
Yes, and they can.
You should let them do it because by the time you hire contractors, it's going to be 2 years. I know my people. A week is actually a long time, the way I look at it.
Gavin Newsom said he put it out for you, but the firefighters just said the hydrant's through. Oh no, he's such a liar. Citizens are gonna have their day, cause the MAGA movement's gonna make it all okay. The governor didn't do anything to keep this tragedy from happening. Oh no, he needs to retire. Oh no, LA's on fire. Oh, and I know this common lunatics are out of control. It's for a tiny little minnow that they've all sold their souls. Emergency alert coming through my phone says I need to evacuate my home. Oh no, this might be dire. Oh no, LA's on fire. Oh no, my house is on fire. Oh no, LA's on fire. Guys, there's nothing funny about what's going on out in California. People are losing their houses, people are losing their neighborhoods, they're losing their businesses. You have a real opportunity right now to change the way that your state is governed. I do believe that good things are coming to the people of California. I do believe that changes are being made already. But guys, I would just implore you to make some changes to your local government, make some changes to your state government, because you deserve better than the way things have been handled. You deserve a lot better than what you've received and the way that things have been, the way that you've been treated. Good thing is Trump's here now, and he's making some of these changes. And I do believe that relief is coming not only to California, but also to North Carolina and also to Lahaina. So guys, if you would, enjoy the song, but also keep these people in your prayers. Every displaced person needs to have their homes rebuilt. They need to have their neighborhoods rebuilt, and not for some political agenda, not to build some 15-minute smart city. No, they need to have their lives put back the way that they were, the the way that they should still be if they were only being governed properly. Guys, we love you. We thank you for listening to the song. Be free, be blessed. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Well, guys, welcome to the Southern Drawl Podcast. Yeah, well, guys, we recorded that song, just an impromptu recording. That was me and my teenage daughter. We put that together back when these fires were raging across California. We, felt really bad for these people out there. There had to be a better way. Their government had to do better. It was obvious. It's all over the airwaves. This is being talked about in a big way. And, time has passed. The flames are out. But make no mistake, the fires are still raging in California. And it really shouldn't be that way. You guys, like I said in that particular video, you have an opportunity. California, you have an opportunity here to make some changes. You know who is making changes? Well, Governor Newsom's making some changes, trying to rebrand himself as a more moderate Democrat, more center-left sort of liberal. Some people are buying it. That's not good. You guys, you have to understand, this man is like the wolf that tells the sheep, if you elect me, I will never eat meat again. Bullshit. Come on, guys. Karen Bass. There's a big movement going on right now to recall Karen Bass. This needs to be a bigger movement. This should be talked about. This should be being pushed in a major way. And guys, to my conservatives out there, my fellow MAGAs, look, if you guys don't realize something right now, the left is doing things. We won the election by a landslide. Trump reminds us of this all the time. By a landslide. You're looking at all these polls all the time that are saying the approval ratings for the Democrats are the lowest they've ever been in history. Do not get complacent. These numbers mean nothing. These people are pouring out onto the streets. We just saw last week that these Democrats were holding rallies all across the United States of America. Thousands of these rallies. In every state, there were rallies. And guess who showed up? Thousands of Democrats. Thousands of leftists pouring out to support this effort. If conservatives get complacent and sit down and be that silent majority again, that silence will wreck us in the primaries, in the midterms, and it will wreck us again come 2028 when it's time to reelect a new president. Guys, we can't sit back and be complacent. We have got to get active. We have got to get out there. Let's take a look at Gavin Newsom here. Gavin's working hard, man. I got to say, he's doing a lot of stuff here. He's working hard to build himself a brand and to build a name for himself. And if we continue to ignore this guy, man, if we continue to ignore him and AOC and all the stuff that these people are doing, Bernie Sanders even out there making waves, talking about the oligarchy. Man, is this guy ever going to give that up? Look, Bernie, you're part of the oligarchy, brother. You're a communist. I want to say socialist, but that isn't even true. You're a communist. You're a communist. Nothing about what you stand for holds any sort of an American value. None of it. Let's listen to Gavin.
I mean, this idea that we can't even have a conversation with the other side.
You have to. They won.
Thank you. That's it. Bottom line. And by the way, the notion we just have to continue to talk to ourselves or we're in the same damn echo chamber. These guys are crushing us. The Democratic brand is toxic right now. We had a high water mark 2 weeks ago, and that was a CNN poll at 29% favorability. It's dropped in the NBC poll down to 27%. It's one thing to make noise, but you also have to make sense. And I think with this podcast and having the opportunity to dialogue with people I disagree with, it's an opportunity to try to find common ground and not take cheap shots. I'm not looking to put a spoke in the wheel of their, or at least a crowbar in the spokes of their wheel to trip them up, to your point. And I think it's important. Democrats, we tend to be a little more judgmental than we should be. This notion of cancel culture, you've been living it. You've been on the receiving end of it for years and years and years. That's real.
It is real. I love that Gavin is starting a podcast, you guys. Gavin's starting a podcast. Why? Because leftists realize something. Podcasts are working. Podcasts got Trump elected. They got him seen by people that they weren't being seen by. Why? Because the mainstream media is liars, and Americans know that the mainstream media is liars. The only people really watching mainstream media anymore and taking any of what they say to face value is the older generations who grew up with that. The new norm is not that. It is not the mainstream media. Mainstream media is synonymous with lies and propaganda at this point. So here's Gavin pretending like we need to do better. We need to listen to people. We need to talk to those that disagree with us. That's what we need to do, not silence them, not cancel culture. Meanwhile, Gavin Newsom presides over the state that is literally leads the country in cancel culture. Their whole ideology is cancel culture. If you do not align with our leftist viewpoints, you do not have a voice. But Gavin's trying to swing it another way.
Democrats need to own up to that. They've got to mature about this.
So what do you say to people who say, well, this sounds all very good, but Governor, you were the poster boy for a lot of this stuff.
Exactly.
I see today the Trump administration they talked about, I don't know if this is true, but they talked about the fact that California had a rule that schools cannot be required to notify parents if their kids in school have changed their gender.
Now, here's the part where Gavin pressed with a real question about his own beliefs and about his own proponents. Watch him squirm. Watch this man squirm, because here he is saying, we need to be more in the middle. But right here, you're going to see that true color, that wolf standing before the sheep going, yeah, no, I still do like to eat meat. I really do.
Their pronouns. That's the kind of thing.
True colors coming out.
Even though it doesn't affect a lot of people.
Yeah. Get ready.
A lot of people
Here they come.
Well, you know what? That's the party without common sense. Now, if that's your state, how are you?
Well, I just disagree with that. I mean, the law was you would be fired. A teacher would be fired if a teacher did not report or snitch on a kid talking about their gender identity.
Snitch on a kid.
I just think that was wrong. I think teachers should teach. I don't think they should be required to turn in kids. And by the way,
we're talking about their parents. How can you snitch? The idea of a snitch and a
he talks about it like
doesn't compete.
Well, it doesn't compete. It does not, because he's talking about it like you shouldn't be just turning these kids in. Turning them into who? The authorities? Their parents are the authority in their life and should be the ones getting this information. If something's going on with a child, especially something psychological, why wouldn't you talk to their parents about it? Here's Gavin saying, well, I'm not saying they can't. I'm just saying we don't encourage it. And if they don't, they'll be protected.
But what is the job of a teacher? It's to teach. If Johnny's talking about some identity issue.
It is to shape and mold the minds of our youth in a positive direction, Gavin. What an imbecile.
There was some issue about liking someone of the same sex. Is the teacher's job to then report that? By the way, in this law, the teacher can still do that, but they can't be fired if that's it can't be fired if that's not what they do. And that's something I think I just think that was fair.
Fair. That is something that I think is fair. To withhold very important information that parents were definitely going to want to know about from the parents, so that the child can go down a road that the parents don't agree with. Why? Because the parents don't have a say-so in the child's life, according to leftists. Major recall effort here for Karen Bass as well.
You come here and you get stuck. If you got nowhere to go and no real family to bail you out, you kind of are forced to go to Skid Row.
Scenes from what could be a disaster movie. Now, a seemingly permanent fixture on the streets of Los Angeles.
The LA mayor hit with a chorus of hissing and boos.
Oh, get a job, you lazy bum. Not that easy.
It is an actual infrastructure disaster.
Downtown LA is a hellscape now.
So reports are that the federal government has given around about $25 billion to the state of California to clean up their homeless problem, their homelessness, to help with infrastructure issues, but to help with the homeless crisis that California is currently enthralled in. And $2 billion of that, roughly, or more, has been given to LA alone. And Karen Bass, being in charge of that county, being the mayor of Los Angeles, rather, where's the billions of dollars gone? Because it has not gone to these people in need. It has not gone to cleaning up these streets. It has not gone to helping the citizens. Guys, let's talk about all of this and more right here on the Southern Drawl Podcast. Let's get it. So that's right, guys. There is definitely a shift in the way things that have been going in California. Like I said, the fires continue to burn. Like I said, though, we can't just sit by and pretend like this isn't happening. You know, you've got Gavin Newsom out there pretending like he's this different guy, this different moderate guy now, and he really wants what's best for the people. He wants communication between those who don't agree, and all of this nonsense. Yet here's Gavin Newsom just recently coming asking the federal government for $2 billion. And what's he need $2 billion for? Well, he needs $2 billion to help with their medical issues going on in California right now. The medical issues in California, the Medicaid program and all this. But why does he need this? Well, because Gavin Newsom championed expanding the Medicaid program to cover criminal, illegal immigrants. Don't believe it? Here's Gavin speaking about that very thing.
Governor Gavin Newsom says the state short on funds for its Medicaid program known as Medi-Cal. The state expanded the program to cover undocumented immigrants. Governor asked lawmakers to approve another $2.8 billion in loans on top of a $3.4 billion loan issued last week.
The realities are the realities. You have to balance budgets. We balance our budget. Revenue is holding up. I don't see anything significant along the lines of what some have asserted. But I do see the need to make adjustments and changes broadly in the Medicaid system.
Meantime, Republicans blaming Democrats for creating financial insecurity with the Medi-Cal program. They say undocumented people should not be covered.
Well, absolutely. Your tax dollars should not be paying for undocumented people or illegal aliens, because let's be real, that's what they are. They shouldn't be that way. They've been ordered by the federal government, the current administration, that these people must leave the country, not continue to benefit off of its taxpayers. But yet you have leftists like Gavin Newsom who push back against that, who don't believe that that's the way that it should be. And they're going to stand against the orders of the federal government and this evil president, Orange Man. What he says doesn't matter. But there are some politicians in California, conservative politicians, who are definitely acknowledging that this is a problem and that the governor has made huge mistakes here, and it is costing California citizens everything.
Republican lawmakers want an audit of Medi-Cal. Eitan Wallace explains more on the concerns they're raising.
Governor Newsom has lied to the public.
Republican Assemblymember Carl DeMaio leveling that accusation against Governor Gavin Newsom, specifically about Newsom's policy to expand publicly funded health care services to undocumented Californians. It's a policy DeMaio says California cannot afford.
This puts the health coverage for poor people, children, the neediest among us at risk. Why? Because we've given away the store to non-citizens. We've given illegal immigrants free health care at taxpayers' expense.
DeMaio's accusations come after the Newsom administration announced in this memo last month the state does not have enough money to fund Medi-Cal, California's publicly funded health care program, financed both by the state and federal governments. The program helps pay medical services for more than 14 million low-income Californians. The administration saying the first loan, $3.4 billion, ensured that the state could fund Medi-Cal through March. The second loan, worth $2.8 billion, ensured that the state could continue paying Medi-Cal bills through June. DeMaio believes Medi-Cal's financial issues are a direct result of the governor's decision last year to expand its coverage to include undocumented Californians. Originally, the Newsom administration estimated doing so would cost the state about $6 billion, but now they estimate it will cost closer to $9.5 billion. For his part, Governor Newsom last month defended his policy expanding Medi-Cal health coverage to undocumented Californians.
It was something we said we were going to do. I believe in universal health care. Been been consistent going back to my days as mayor. We're the first city in the country to advance it. And it's just a core principle.
Well, something that Governor Newsom is definitely consistent in is telling lies, guys, being whoever he needs to be for the cameras. Because if I can just convince you that I'm awesome, then I get your vote. And then I get to do what I do, which is go back to being that wolf in sheep's clothing. And that's exactly what Governor Newsom is all about, guys. He's all about it. In his new podcast, Governor Newsom outright lied. This was the very first episode of his podcast. This was back in, I want to say March. Could have been end of February. I can't remember. I think it was March, beginning of March. His brand new podcast comes out. And who is his first guest? Conservative podcaster and voice Charlie Kirk comes on the podcast. And here, Gavin gets caught in a bold-faced lie right here. And it just goes to show you what this man is good at is being a pretty boy on camera and lying his ass off. Let's listen to Gavin Newsom tell some lies.
By the way, not one person ever in my office has ever used the word Latinx.
So can we finally put that to bed?
Yeah,
we agree.
where did that even
No more Latinx,
like,
everybody.
Well, I just didn't even know where it came from. I'm like, what are people talking about?
But there was a person who used Latinx. It was actually a really important person. It was him. Right?
Yeah, that's right. And look, these aren't minor shifts. These are progressive issues that Gavin Newsom used to champion until fairly recently. And now he's not just...
By the way, this is CNN.
He's sort of acting like they were...
acknowledging
with that
Newsom's full of crap.
Talking about Latinx in the first place. But let's take Latinx. We did find somebody who used it repeatedly in his office. Let's take a listen to this.
I hope we can really paint a picture in terms of our consciousness of how impactful this has been on the Latinx community. The Latinx and Black communities. You've got politicians that are banning not assault rifles, but the word Latinx. They're not even serious. By the way, listen, not one person ever in my office has ever used the word Latinx.
So can we finally put that to bed?
Yeah,
we agree.
But where did that even
No more Latinx.
Where did that even come from, he says? Not one person in my office has ever used that term. Where did it even come from? Who's even talking about it? What is this Latinx thing? Newsom, it was you, buddy. It was you. Jeez Louise. He lies like breathing, guys. You cannot believe a word this man says. Here's this goes on and on, man. Like he is an absolute train wreck, this guy. He is a train wreck. But he continues to paint this picture. Here's Gavin Newsom inviting Canadians. We know Orange Man is bad, and we do not agree with Orange Man here in California. Here in California, we love you guys. Canadians, we want you to come here where California absolutely has everything to offer for you, Canadians. What a joke.
Today, we launched a new international campaign focused on encouraging Canadians to come visit the great state of California. The state of mind in the United States of America has dramatically changed as it relates to the approach to Canada. And we want to make sure we send a message to our Canadian friends up north to come to a state where 2 million Canadians visited last year, to come visit a state where there's something for everybody. Visit California.
What is there to offer in California? For Canadians, you might wonder. Well, I'm happy to show you. This is what Gavin Newsom wants Canadians to come and bring their families to enjoy the beautiful, beautiful streets of California.
Go, baby. That's good.
Keep going, you're good.
What, poop?
She said, what, poop? Well, what was that, darling? Just a little human shit? Just go around it. Oh, my God. Yeah, this is California. This is what, just so you know, Canadians, this is what Gavin Newsom is inviting you to come and participate in and be a part of. You want to see the beautiful, awesome streets of LA, Hollywood, all that beautiful California has to offer. Here it is, guys. Here it is. Come. Enjoy California. We welcome you. Just a wonderful place for tourism. Bring your families. What a wonderful place to go visit, guys. I know all of y'all are just so excited to go and be a part of that and get to experience what California truly has to offer. Such a beautiful state. Just know that when you get there, you're going to need some extra gas money. Why? Well, because California has the highest gas prices in all of the country. But it's not because California is doing anything wrong. No. According to Gavin Newsom, this is because evil, greedy oil companies are gouging Californians, unfairly gouging Californians. Let's take a look at that.
California's high gas prices are the result of state policies and lower production and not price gouging. Marshall Business School professor Michael Misch released a report this month detailing why Californians pay so much for gasoline. He identified 7 factors that have pushed prices higher for decades, most of which have to do with state taxes and environmental regulations. The professor also says that higher labor costs and lower production rates are pushing prices higher at the pump, and he expects that trends to continue as we approach California's 2035 target for banning the sale of new gas-powered cars.
But Gavin Newsom said it's because of price gouging. It's price gouging. It's these evil oil companies. That's what's doing it. Meanwhile, Gavin Newsom spent $50 million worth of taxpayer money to protect California from Trump's gas prices. The rest of us are enjoying Trump's gas prices, especially down here in Florida. We're doing well. Out in the Midwest, they're doing even better. Texas doing great. But the whole West Coast suffering, probably just because of evil gas companies and oil companies like Gavin Newsom said. I mean, that's all that makes sense. Gavin wouldn't lie to us. He wouldn't tell us lies about the gas companies. There's no way Gavin would lie about the gas companies. I just outright reject that. But does Gavin reject that? No, Gavin doesn't reject that. Gavin doubles down on his claim. Let's listen.
Then I'm passing gas station after gas station and gas station.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you're right.
Excuse me.
Gouging us. Oil companies are screwing us.
$4 a gallon in every other state.
Yeah.
$7 I saw here.
Gas companies.
$2 as of today. I monitor this very closely. I just did a special session. We became the first state in the country to do price gouging legislation with a new monitor just went into effect. These oil companies are ripping us off. $2.
They're only ripping off California, though?
$2.06. This mystery surcharge that they've been advancing for years and years.
But the average around the country's $4, and I saw anywhere between $6.50 and $7.
Listen.
$2.06 higher. You're absolutely right.
No, your state is much more than every other state.
Exactly. $2
Why?
higher. Because they're screwing us. There's no justification.
It's not regulation, taxation?
Yes. 85 cents. 85 cents. Low carbon fuel standard.
How much does California get per gallon for gasoline tax?
When you add the gas tax, you add cap and trade, and you add the low carbon fuel standards, and then periodically add, and I'm being as transparent as I can be, and you add our unique blend.
Our unique blend. So here's Gavin saying, when you add this that we put in, that we, California, not me, Gavin Newsom, when you add this that we put in there, when you add this thing that we require, when you add this other thing that we require, and then you create our unique blend, as in California's unique blend that must be produced and created in order to sell gas in California, it costs more money, and it shouldn't, according to Gavin. They shouldn't do that to us. This is absolute lunacy. Absolute lunacy. But he doubles down, man. Doubles down. Guys, this is incredible. Gavin Newsom's not alone, though. I know I'm picking on Gavin. Some of you guys aren't going to like that. Don't pick on Gavin. He's a good guy. He's a good guy? I don't think Gavin's a good guy, personally. I just reject that notion. But let's jump over to Karen Bass. What has happened in the, 70, 80? It's almost been 90 days. We're approaching 90 days. Actually, it's been 90 days. When were the fires? They were back in January. Yeah, so it's been over 90 days since these fires in California took place. Over 90 days. And let's take a look at some of the progress that has taken place.
You see this lying on sharp, rusted nails, this poor animal that's suffering here among this debris. And you say, why? Why? And this animal's sick, but he doesn't have to be on this debris. And we should all be livid at the leaderlessness of our government, the failures of our government to protect our health, to protect the ocean, to protect the environment. And this is not the result of the fires, but the results of our awakening to the incompetence of government that we've seen since the fires. And Governor Newsom, Lindsay Horvath, Karen Bass, shame on all of you. Shame on you.
Shame on all of you. This is the result of poor leftist governance. And this is the results of it, really. And truly, this is what you get. This is what it looks like. How many houses have been rebuilt? How many permits have been issued since these fires? When Karen Bass was sitting there arguing with President Trump, Trump said, a week is too long. 1 week is too long. And Karen Bass goes, well, we're going to get it done. We're going to move quickly. It's been over 90 days. And currently, the reports are that only less than a dozen building permits have been issued to rebuild people's houses across the state. Why is that, I wonder? I can tell you one reason why. It's being widely reported that the state of California is requiring that if you're going to rebuild, we are only issuing permits if you meet all of the standards for a green build. What does that mean? That means you got to go solar. You got to use certain green energy in order to pass the process for the building permit. If you're not putting those particular green energy efficiency things into place, you don't get to build. You don't get to rebuild. You do not get a permit. In other words, you don't have the right to choose for yourself how you want to build your house. If you want to go with gas, for instance, gas stove or whatever, you can't do that. Nope, that'll be rejected. Your permit will be rejected. You either do it the way we want it done, or you can be homeless. We got plenty of homeless people. Go join them, says California. We don't care that your house burned down. Your house probably burned down because you didn't do something right. We've heard that in the past. Where California officials, fire officials, I don't say chief, can't remember the guy's name, but fire officials basically said it was these people's fault that their houses burned down. They weren't up to code. They weren't up to California code. So they burned down because of that. Had nothing to do with poor management. Had to do with poor residents who should have done better. This is just what the officials of California think.
The other politician involved here is Karen Bass. She is the mayor of Los Angeles. Karen Bass is a Marxist. She was a frequent visitor to Cuba not that long ago. Now, again, if that were just a youthful mistake that she made, joining some of these Marxist and communist groups, that's one thing. But when Fidel Castro died not that long ago, Karen Bass cried publicly, called him her jefe, and that is really her background. She, of course, has no background in city management and emergency management. Her deputy mayor, her number one deputy mayor, Brian Williams, not the NBC News anchor who got embarrassed out of his job, but another guy named Brian Williams, has no experience either with fire and police and public safety. He's also been arrested recently for calling in a phony bomb threat to the city. This is the man who was in charge of the fire departments and things like that. Well, he was the person in the mayor's office who oversaw that. So I think we have Kevin Smith back right now. Hey, Kevin, can you hear me? Great. Kevin, listen, we were just talking about Karen Bass. We talked about Gavin Newsom. Karen Bass, the mayor of LA, who had no experience. Kevin, I just want to ask you, if the people of California and Los Angeles specifically do not rise up and replace their leaders after this, is there any hope for California?
You know, I don't think there is. And it's so wild when you think about somebody like Karen Bass, because when you're a member of Congress, when you're one of 435 and you don't show up to work or you're completely incompetent, nobody notices because you're just a cog in the machine. But when you're a leader, when you're a governor, when you're a supervisor, a mayor, a president, a CEO, when you're at the top and you screw up, people notice.
Well, people certainly have noticed, and they are starting to look into just what is happening out here. Where is money going? Why aren't preparations being made popular or being made properly? Karen Bass told us that she only left the country because she wasn't properly made aware of the fact that this disaster was looming on the horizon. Meanwhile, forecasts for this disaster were all over the media for days leading up to it, and she left the country anyway, went to Ghana. Big scandal has come out there as it was exposed that she was making cryptic messages and telling people, I have to go, I have to leave, you'll see why very soon, just sit tight, this sort of stuff. And then upon getting called out for that, completely deleted all of her text messages from her Ghana trip to try to cover up things that were said and things she was doing and people she was communicating with. Lots of controversy surrounding this lady and needs to be investigated. But in the meantime, the citizens have the ability to get rid of her, and they should. The government's also looking into this.
There are 75,000 homeless people here in Los Angeles County, and critics say as you walk around, there's not a lot of improvements despite billions of dollars being thrown at this problem. Well, now there's a new MAGA-aligned United States attorney here, Bill Asaley, who's launched a federal probe investigating where homeless dollars are going. He estimates $24 billion in homeless funding statewide over the past 5 years, much of that spent here in Southern California.
We will get to the bottom of it, and if we find that any federal laws are violated, we will arrest and prosecute those individuals involved.
In a sit-down with Fox, the new U.S. attorney points to a recent audit that revealed more than $2 billion in homeless funds is unaccounted for here in L.A. County alone.
That is not a rounding error. That's a lot of money. So we want to get to the bottom of where that money went. We have the ability to execute grand jury subpoenas, search warrants, all the tools available at our disposal.
Well, it's good to see that somebody is looking into this and trying to hold those accountable who are guilty of using your money to not further your interests or to make life better for you, but to hold them accountable. Let's listen in. This was James O'Keefe, who originally came out with the reports that there was some shady things taking place behind the scenes of this whole Karen Bass trip to Ghana.
Breaking news, text messages from within Fox 11 News in Los Angeles reveal that reporters are being told not to cover the secret recording of the Mayor Bass phone call released on Friday. In the phone call from January 4th, just 3 days before the fires, Mayor Bass preemptively defends her Ghana trip.
And just in terms of my trip, just so you know, I'm missing 2 work days. That's it.
She also sends a very cryptic message to read between the lines, whatever that means.
And hopefully you can read in between the lines. But I would just appreciate, and it's hard for me to tell you this, but hold tight. You will understand soon.
Now, in these text messages provided to citizen journalists,
you will understand soon. Hold tight. You will understand soon. Well, in those text messages that James O'Keefe is about to reference, you should look into this because all of those text messages from her trip were mysteriously deleted. Not mysteriously, she just did it. She just outright deleted those text messages. Why? Cover up? Probably. Officials there in the California area, LA and state and local officials are saying that her deleting those text messages most likely violated the retention law when investigations are taking place. Guys, there's a law of retention. You are required to keep all documentation. You cannot get rid of anything. You cannot delete anything, shred anything, all that stuff. Well, we've seen this on the left many, many times. When they realize they've been found out, what do? Burn it all. Shred it, destroy it, erase it. She's not the first. She probably won't be the last. Probably won't be the last. But all this to say, guys, look, this is terrible what's gone on in California. The state of California has been egregiously governed and managed by its officials, by leftist leadership. And if you're on the right now, if you're conservative, you need to be paying attention. You can't just assume, oh, well, Trump's president now, everything's going to be fine. Guys, we'll wind up right back here. Understand one thing for sure. This kind of governance is exactly what the left had in store and in mind for the rest of the country in trying to elect Kamala Harris as president. And right now we're seeing AOC, of all people, blows me away, rising up in the ranks, being supported by thousands and thousands of these nutbag leftists. And what is the right doing? Well, we're just sitting at home enjoying the fact that Trump's president. That is unacceptable. We can't do that, guys. We can't. We have to be as active today as we were leading up to the November elections. If we're not as active throughout this whole thing, the midterms are coming fast, and we're going to get destroyed. And if Trump loses the House or the Senate during the midterms, guys, you hang it up. Executive orders only go so far. If everything isn't codified into law, we get nothing in the end. We get a complete reversal the next time there's a Democrat president. You want to go back to their idea of what America should look like? Because we are rapidly approaching it. And if we don't get active, if we don't get very active, guys, very vocal, continue to point the stuff out. Continue to talk about the fact that this can't go forward. You're relying on polls that say the Democrats have a 19% approval rating right now, lowest in history. Oh, good. We're fine then. No way a Democrat gets voted in. Well, we just saw that's not the case with some recent special elections that took place up in Wisconsin, for instance, where they just put into Wisconsin's court system one of the most radical left judges ever appointed in the country. That happened because of complacency on the right. If the right don't stand up and start doing something and being more active and more vocal, we are in for a big, big, big reversal of this national mandate that we achieved in November. Trump's not going to be on every ticket, guys. He's not the end-all be-all. We have to find leaders that are going to continue to push forward the Make America Great Again agenda. Yes, it may be something Trump started, but it is not. He is not the core of the vision. The movement is real, and it has to continue forward if we're truly going to make America great.
We've got a mayor that's out of the country, and we've got a city that's burning. What is most concerning to me is there's no water in the Palisades. There's no water coming out of the fire hydrants. This is an absolute mismanagement by the city.
We ran out of water in the first tank at about 4:45 p.m. yesterday.
Out of every fire hydrant you've seen, what have you found? Right now, we're finding most of them are down or low pressure.
What was the thought process behind going to Ghana? Because we know that there was warnings about the weather before you went.
Hey, Karen, you want to talk about why you deleted your text? Why did you delete your text, Karen? Karen, why did you unlawfully delete your text, Karen?
This person, Karen Bass, is a total disaster. And every time that you think it gets as bad as it could, she makes it worse.
It doesn't even look like a house anymore.
My 3-year-old kid's asking me, Mom, when are we going to go home?
This is a story of absolute and total incompetence.
Emergency information, resources, and shelter is available. All of this can be found at URL.
At URL. Woman, there's a website attached to URL. Good grief. Good grief. Guys, the reason I point all this out, the reason I bring all this up, I'm in Florida. I love it here. I love what we've got going on in the state of Florida. It's amazing. The freest state in the nation. We love it. Our freedom state of Florida. Why do I care about California? Because for 4 years, over 4 years, truthfully, because this actually leaned back into half of Trump's first presidency when the left controlled the House. For over 4 years now, America has been subjected to leftist tyranny every step of the way for over 4 years. And then Joe Biden's presidency comes in, and we saw it just spike. The agenda was set. They were fixing to take us on to the next level. We were about to be what we're seeing happen in the UK right now, what we're seeing happening in France, Romania. That's the agenda. Burn it to the ground, absolute and total control. Nothing for the citizens, nothing for you, citizen last, as we push forth our agenda of total dominance and control. When a politician and a leader of a state, a country, a nation can sit and take from the citizens while they sit and get rich and happy and powerful and do anything they want, bestow any kind of legislation, bestow any kind of directives on the people, and the people are powerless to do anything about it, you hear them all chanting, we have to save our democracy from Donald Trump. Democracy is synonymous with control. It is synonymous with power for the elite. It is synonymous with corruption and lies. Not always has it been this way, but in today's 2025, democracy is synonymous with tyranny. If we do not stand up as a nation and rise against this idea of leftism, rise against this idea of tyrannical democracy, and support our republic, protect our republic, it won't be long and we won't have a republic left to protect. Guys, that's just what I think. And that's all the time I've got for you. Forgive my rant. I hope you enjoyed the video. We hope to see you guys again real soon, right here on Southern Traditions, on the Southern Drawl Podcast. Until then, be free, be blessed. Peace.